Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Very warm welcome to all of you this Monday morning. Hi, Louise. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Amina. Hi, Anne. Hi, Berute. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Sammy. Very warm welcome to all of you guys. Hope you are ready for absolutely fantastic week ahead. And for this morning's training, I hope you're going to get some value from it. So let me just quickly share my screen. If you can hear me okay, you can type in something in the chat box just to make sure that I know that you guys can hear me okay and see everything okay. Awesome. Let me just quickly share my screen. All right, all right, all right. So this morning is an interesting webinar. We're going to talk about the company ship is sailing and are you on board? Now we're going to be talking about different type of network marketing boats, and I'll need to ask you to think which boat are you. Okay, so this is a very, very important training. It's about different types of characters and personalities in our business, and it helps to identify what type of a business person you are, but also what type of business people you have in your team. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. So the first one is the barge, right? So what you need to ask yourself, do I need to be pushed and shoved to do something in this business, right? When people talking about me, is the word potential coming up, right? And barge is basically somebody who needs to always be pushed to do the business, right? And their type of mentality is, why hasn't my upline called me, right? Or why hasn't my upline did something for me, or why didn't they help me to build a business or whatever. So they're always looking at other people and how they can help them to build a business, right? So how do you deal with a barge in your business? If you have somebody who's a barge, you don't deal with them. What you do, you replace them, and you focus and you hope that they will figure out that the company's ship is sailing with or without them, right? So they have to understand that. Okay, the second boat in our business is sailboat, right? So a sailboat needs a fair weather to operate, to sail, right? So what you need to think is, am I that type of person who needs the fair weather to do the business, right? Am I blowed with the wind, right? So if it's a good day, then I'm happy. If I have a bad day, then I'm not happy, right? And the sailboats are sort of, if it's a bad weather, I'm not going to a meeting. The guest canceled, I'm not going to the meeting either. My team doesn't do anything, so I'm not going to do anything either. So basically they're being blown with the wind. They're following the suit. They're basically seeing what all the other people are doing, right? So how do you deal with a sailboat if you have one in your business? Well, you don't deal with them, you replace them, right? You need to again make sure that they understand that the company ship will sail with or without them, and they need to be on board if they want to be in the business, right? Okay, the third type of boat is canoe, right? So canoes is basically, again, you need to ask yourself, am I the person whose attitude is always rocking back and forth, right? Am I easily knocked off course? Am I affected, and changing mood and changing my mind all the time, right? Canoes, they are very, very unpredictable in business, right? So you need to ask yourself, am I that person, or do I have people like that in my business? Now, how do you deal with a canoe? You don't. What you do, you set a good example by being always positive and staying in activity mode. So you show them how it's done, but you don't deal with them, because there's nothing you can do with them, because they're being rocked back and forth. And again, you hope that they understand that the company ship is sailing with or without them. Okay, the next one is Battleship. Okay, so the Battleship is basically are the people who stir up problems, right? So am I listening to the gossip all the time? Am I attacking other people? Am I causing people to avoid me? right? Am I talking bad about leadership or the company? Am I worrying too much about what, and concerning more about other people's business? People who are battleships, they're looking for battles, right? They're looking at other people's lives. They'll go, oh, have you heard that so and so got divorced, or so and so got married, or how is it they making that type of money? And I wonder how much money that person is making. So they're always involved in rumors and talking about other people, etc. Right? And what they need to do, and if you are one of the battleships, what you need to do is mind your own business, right? And mine is MINE, right? Mind your own business, right? It doesn't concern you. It absolutely doesn't concern you what other people are doing, especially their personal lives, etc. Right? So how do you deal with a battleship? You deal with them, right? You call them directly. They must be handled, right? You can't just sweep the stuff under the rug, because in time the rug will get so high, other people will start tripping over it, right? And you deal with them directly. So if somebody from my team calls me about another person, I go, have you spoken to them directly, right? Why are you calling me first? Call that person directly and deal with them. That's what adults do, right? So it's not about making rumors. It's not talking about people behind their backs. It's dealing with that person, right? And you cannot have battleships in your business, because they will cause problems, right? So you need to straighten them out right away. Okay, the other person, or the other type of network marketing boat, is a submarine. Okay, so submarines, they stay out of sight only to come up for air of the opportunity. They only surface when the top earner is in town, or when there's some special event is going on, or whatever, right? And they sort of the type of person who go, the team should make changes, until they do, I won't do anything, and things like that. Now, how do you deal with submarines? Well, you don't deal with them directly, right? What you do, you keep in touch with them on a regular basis through the regular mediums, and you keep them informed, and you always make them feel welcome when they resurface, right? So the last thing you want to do when the submarine resurfaces is go, where have you been, right? That's the last thing they want to hear. So what you want to do is make the environment as welcome as possible. Your role as a leader is to make it as welcome as possible, so that every time when they resurface to get some fresh air, they see that the air is positive, that the air is good. And if they keep seeing that this air is really, really good, that might encourage them to stay on the surface and to start doing something, right? So you always make them feel welcome whenever they resurface. Okay, the next one is the unmanned wooden raft. Okay, so am I an unmanned wooden raft? Am I easily lured away, as I'm not anchored in the business, right? If the people like the unmanned wooden raft, they're not on the webinar right now. They're probably watching television. They're watching the morning cartoons or something like that instead, right? So and these are the people who go, oh, my company is moving a bit slow right now, let me look at another company as well, let me do something else as well. So they are not committed, they're not anchored in business, right? And the idea is that the other company is not a solution. Usually if a person is not making money in business, it's not the business, it's them. If they go to another company, guess what? Probably they're not going to make any money there too, right? So how do you deal with the unmanned wooden raft? Well, you don't deal with them, right? It's sometimes easier to give birth than to raise the dead, right? So they have to understand that the company ship is sailing with or without them. If they're not serious, you can't make them serious, right? Okay. The next one is a pleasure boat. Okay, so pleasure boats only surface for fun team activities, right? They're not in trainings, they don't attend any events, but whenever there's a party, guess what? They're the first ones to be there, right? So they are the fun, enjoying people, and they're not very serious about the business, sometimes. So how do you handle these people? Well, again, you don't handle them directly. make them feel welcome, and keep them plugged in and engaged in the company activities and the company news, etc., with the hope that one day they might become serious and not just come to the fun bits, but actually start building the business and start attending trainings and events, etc. Okay, the boat number 8 is a cruise ship. Okay, so a cruise ship, you need to ask yourself, am I just cruising along with no urgency, right? Am I just sort of building this business as if I had a lifetime of 200 years? I'm not in a rush. I'm not recruiting a lot of people. I'm not talking to many people, because there's always tomorrow, and there's always next week, and there's always next month, etc., right? And the problem with the cruise ship is that they reach a different destination every other day, right? So if you're the cruise ship, the chances are that your goals are constantly changing, right? And this is not very good, because you have to set your goals and work towards them. If your goals are changing every other day, then it's very difficult to stay consistent and to work hard. And cruise ships are usually the people who are doing the minimum to stay active, right? And there's no chance that a cruise ship would ever hit a high income in this business, because they simply are not consistent enough and they're not working hard enough, right? So how do you handle a cruise ship? Well, you don't handle them directly. Their goals is not your goals, right? You must understand that. You cannot make everybody to be exactly like you. So what you do, you just carry on sponsoring other people, and you hope that the cruise ship will understand that the company ship is sailing with or without them. Okay, next one is the speedboat. Okay, so the speedboat is the person who comes in blazing fast but runs out of petrol very, very quickly, or sometimes they even go the wrong way, going very, very fast, right? So the idea with those people is that very often they don't have the system that they are following, right? They don't have a proper structure. They just come in really excited, really eager, but because they don't have a solid foundation, they run out of fuel or out of energy within the next couple of months. And you might see that in your team, or you might be one of those people who came in really excited, really pumped up, but then 2, 3, 4 months later, you sort of lose your fire and you start going, doing less and less and less in the business. So how do you handle a speedboat? What you do, you handle them directly to course correct that they wouldn't burn out. So if you have a person who comes in really excited, really fired up, you want to make sure that you show them how to do this business. You show them the systems and structures, because with their excitement, with their passion, they could achieve a lot of big results in business. But you need to make sure that they're actually investing that energy and that passion in the right way, because otherwise they're just going to burn out and you're going to lose somebody who potentially could have built a massive business very, very quickly. Okay, the next one is the showboat. Okay, so the showboats are the ones who brag and boast about their accomplishments, right? They always talk about themselves, right? I, my team, my business, my whatever, right? So that's, again, not a very good attitude to have in business, because the reality is that we are nothing in this business without our teams. We are nothing without our people, right? So and it's like, imagine it's a battlefront, right? And if you go I, that means you are on your own in this battlefield, and that's a very bad position to be in. Where if you use words like we, our team, etc., now you have all of this group of people to back you up, right? So you're not alone in this battlefield, right? So how do you deal with the showboat? Well, what you do, you deal with them. You counsel them about staying humble, right? Just counsel them, that, this is something that, you have to be humble, because if you're not humble, people will get annoyed with you, right? They will throw you off this boat, so you really need to stay humble, right? And take it, with a bit of a humility, yeah? Okay, the next one is the fishing boat. Now, fishing boat is a very good boat. Okay, so these are the people who are constantly looking for new places to cast their net, right? If it breathes, they will talk to that person about the business, about the products, etc. So a fishing boat is a very, very good boat. You know, they're always looking for new people to bring them into the business as a customer or as a business partner. Now, how do you handle a fishing boat? You don't handle them. You stay out of the way. Encourage them to keep fishing. Praise them, recognize them, support them with whatever help they need, but you get out of the way and you let them get on with fishing, with bringing people into the business. Okay, and the last one is the tugboat. Okay, so the tugboat is the world's helpers. They are always working hard to save other lives. They're always working hard to have a better way, right? So these are the people who are visionaries. These are the people who want to change the world, want to help other people to change their lives, and they want to achieve big results, etc. Right? So how do you deal with them? You let these leaders lead. Don't get in their way to be the deal, right? Sometimes people make this mistake because they are the team leader. They always want to be the deal, the biggest leader in the team, etc. But sometimes you'll get people in your team who are better leaders than even you are. And that's a very good thing. That's not a problem. It's a blessing to have. If you have somebody in your team who is a bigger leader than you are, then just support them, encourage them, and get out of the way. Let them do the deal. Let them do whatever they do best, right? So what you want to think about now, guys, is what boat am I, right? And if you're the boat that you like to be that boat, it's awesome. If you're the boat that you might have some features of certain boats that you don't really like to be associated with, then how can I change it, right? And think about it, and think about your team members, what sort of boats they are. But finally, what you need to remember, that this is a volunteer business, right? Nobody's been drafted into this business, right? So everybody has a choice. It is not up to you to judge them or criticize them for being a certain boat. If somebody came in and they choose to do it in a way, one way or another, it is their choice, and you have to respect it. Right? Sometimes we're so eager to make the money, to build a business, except that we push people to become different boats, if you like, than they actually are, right? Which was their choice to begin with, right? So our job is to show the example, set the example by working hard ourselves, by doing what it takes ourselves, and then hoping that some of them will get the idea and they follow your suit, right? Because the company ship is sailing with or without them. Okay, guys? All right, so let me just do that. Awesome. So, guys, hope you found this useful. Have a fantastic week. And as always, guys, I will see you at the top.